Now that we have seen buffered reader and file reader, and we have seen how we can read different files using buffered reader and file reader, and how we can process those files, let's see an alternative way of reading files. So the alternative way of reading files is using scanner. We have seen scanner previously, and we have used scanner to get the user's input. But can we use it to read files? The answer is yes. Scanner can read files. The general syntax is create a scanner object as usual, scanner followed by scanner's name is equal to new scanner, but this time in the parentheses, instead of typing system.in, we will give it what we call a file object. So we need to create a file object first. Now it's pretty easy to create a file object. You will just say file, give it a file name is equal to new file, and then again you will provide the file to be read as a string, and again you will need to include the full path if it's not in the same directory. So let's see an example of how we can do that. I will just create a new class and let me call it reading with scanner. I'll need a main method for that, obviously. Now, as we said, we will need to create a scanner object and we will need to create a file object. Let me start by creating a file object. So what I will do is file, and let me call it f is equal to new file, and I will give it the path. So let's use our input file that we used from the previous example. So input file.txt. This is going to work as well with CSV files the same way we processed the CSV files in the previous video, but this is just an alternative way of just getting the data, of reading the data. Now I'm getting an error here because I need to import file. So import java.io.file. Now what I need to do is I need to create a scanner object, but this time I will not say system.in. I will provide it with the file that I just created. So scanner scn is equal to new scanner, and in here we use to type system.in. This time I'll just provide it with my file. Now again I'm getting an error because I need to handle the exception, which is the file not found exception. So I'll surround it with try and catch. And every time you're trying to read a file, you will need to handle the exception in the case that the file was not found. You can print a message, you can do another thing in here. So this is your handling of the exception. Now, to read a line using scanner, as usual, we'll say next line. So all of the scanner methods are going to work in here. But then how can I know if I reach the end of file or not? If you recall previously, we created a string and we checked if that string is not null, then we are not at the end of the file. If the string is null, then we are indeed at the end of the file. This time we will check if we have a next line using the hasNext method, which is going to give me a boolean. So I'll say while, and then inside my while condition I'll say while scn.hasNext. As you can see, it's going to give me a boolean telling me if there is a next line or not. Inside of this I will just go and say system.out.println, and I can print the line. Now how can I get a line from scanner? By simply saying scn.nextLine. So what I will do is system.out.println. Again, you can save this as a string and you can print the string later or do whatever you want with it. But what I'm doing is I'll just get it into the print statement. Again, this is going to give me a string, which is the whole line. So scn dot next line, and this is going to give me the next line that I'm trying to read. So let's try to run this. As you can see, this is our input file, which is located in here. Can I do the same to read CSV? The answer is yes. So I'll try to read book1.csv, and let me do this. So again, I get the same thing. Can I process this into strings? The answer is again yes. After I get this, so I will get this and store it into my string, and I will split it and save it into an array of strings, just like what we did in the last video, which is right here. So I'm splitting, saving in an array of strings, and then I can manipulate my array. So other than how you read the file, everything is going to work exactly the same.